it's a good.
For now, I mean, he was their starting center, but Mark, just says he was first game. Yeah. And then so he and Brett Exodus, and they were playing multiplayer the rest of the
Yeah.
Maybe they come.
So they put him now either on nose guard on the defense or out on the defensive end. It seems like they like him more on nose guard. Effectively, where he's normally.
Yeah, right. Going it up again.
But he's doing okay. I asked him, I said, don't you get tired? He says, he said, no, that's what you're training for. But either way, even if they would lose, they still don't go to the playoffs. It's just a matter of, like last year, not to play, they lost to Harrisburg. And then they had the season game and ended up playing them in the playoffs and lost to
Is that,
them.
I don't know, shit.
But they went all the way to the finals.
Oh, okay.
And they lost to, which team that was that they lost. They lost in the finals. I'm trying to remember who beat IMS. But in the playoffs, you lose your time.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Honey Brook Board of Supervisors Workshop Meeting, Wednesday, October 1st. We'll start the meeting with the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A few announcements. Please be advised that we have 4 assisted listening devices available for anyone who is hard of hearing. If you need assistance with one of them, they're up front here, just let us know. In accordance with Resolution 2-2012, you're informed that Scott Stilson, Vincent Drive, is recording tonight's meeting for posting on YouTube. This meeting is also available from remote locations using Microsoft Teams. And in accordance with Resolution 20-2023, the rules of conduct for public meetings and public comment periods shall be observed and are listed at the bottom of the agenda. With that, we'll move into public comment. Does anybody in the audience have any public comments tonight? Hearing none?
No, hold on. I just can't let this go. Lorraine Louie, Vincent Drive. So tonight's meeting, there was no information packet prepared, so it made it hard to review whatever we're supposed to be discussing tonight. So there was a 3-page text, but no presentations are available to review the content of the meeting. So I don't know how you can make a public comment when we don't even know what we're going to discuss. So I think it's unfair to the residents. It's supposed to be a budget workshop meeting, and we do have a few more months before we have to pass the budget by the end of the year. But this is a process, and it takes time, and we're not seeing any information available for 2026 yet. So in hand with that, in the March meeting, I believe it was the March meeting, I had recommended that we have the comment period towards the end of the meeting so that after we saw the presentations, we can make comments. You would know what the residents were thinking. There could be some feedback. You could interject your comments. But having the comment period 5 minutes into the meeting serves no purpose.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the audience with a comment? Hearing no additional comments, we'll move on to the business of the meeting.
Thank you. Purpose of tonight's meeting is to get the capital requests, some information in front of the Board of Supervisors for your consideration. You're going to have some requests from the township, the Public Works Department. We have capital requests from both the Twin Valley Fire Company and the Honey Brook Fire Company as well. We'll speak about some potential EMS requests. There's a few carry forward requests from the rec. And then we also have Stacy Weaver from the Honey Brook Community Library. So the goal is just to give you the information that as we're building out the budget, the board understands is the capital requests, which again, in Honey Brook Township, we use a baseline of approximately $5,000. So typically equipment or items that will serve the municipality for many years. This is going to be your opportunity to ask myself or the presenters any questions that will help you make your decision. I do not need a decision this evening. What will occur after this is I will reach out to each board member individually and get your feedback. And if I hear that the board in its entirety is interested in these capital requests, we will either put them in or remove them from the budget based on the feedback of the individual supervisors. So with that, we'll start with the capital reserve request for the township. As mentioned before, 2025, the township had approved in the 2025 year budget to replace the administrative generator that supplies power to the township administration building in case of a power outage. The board had approved that project for 2025. We did go ahead and order the generator. Unfortunately, the delivery of that generator won't occur until next year. So we're just going to ask the board to carry forward the previously approved project. We will be able to purchase the propane tank this year out of this year's budget. And the Township Public Works Department will go ahead and bury that. And then once the generator arrives, that will be installed for next year. That's the only request on the administration side. We do have one request from the Public Works Department, and Don Johnson's here, the Director of Public Works. So Don is requesting a debris blower. That's an attachment that can be used on two pieces of equipment that the township currently owns, the skid steer and additionally the roadside mower that we have put into service. So Don can probably explain it a little bit more, but that's used to blow off debris off the roadways. They use that to clean up the roadways after winter maintenance. They clear out some storm water, so some ditches and swales. Currently, the township has a walk-behind blower that we have purchased in the last few years. There's a lot of debris and kickback that comes from that, so putting it on a machine which has an enclosed operator area, that would give the ability for the one to move quicker, two not to have as much debris going back into the public works members. The estimated cost of that is $10,500, and that request is, the vendor would be the AtMax, who is the one that made the roadside mower that we currently utilize. Anything to add, Donnie?
No, I mean, it'll go onto the new mower, plus we can use it on the skid steer, so we have two pieces of equipment that can be used on. And if we would purchase that, then the one that we bought the other year that you kind of stand on and you're out in the open with it, we could, sell that thing and probably get rid of it. And we use that a lot for cleaning leaves out of the ditches, in the fall here for where we have a lot of water that runs and the developments and stuff like that.
Is that self-driven? and just attached to the machine, or is it functional to hydraulics of the machine?
It's hydraulic, runs off the hydraulics on the machine and fits right onto the front, onto the hitch that's already there, and runs off the hydraulics.
Any other questions? No. And I believe that's the only request that you have this year. For next year's budget, we were approved last year to buy a 1-foot mill head to put on to the skid steer. We have a borrowed one that is potentially going to be leaving next year, so we should have an in-house one. So you will see that purchase later this year. That has already been approved. They'll also need to buy a
Concrete saw.
concrete saw. And again, it's still under the budgetary numbers that were approved for this year. So that is all the requests for the administration and the public works department. Any questions on either of those asks?
Stand-up saw or a?
It's a walk-behind saw. It's on its own chassis and stuff, but you push it manually. And it's for sawing where we put pipes across the road or whatever, you know, we've got to cut the blacktop, that's what we use it at.
Gas powered?
Gas powered, yes.
All right. If there's no further board questions upon the administrative and township request, we'll move on to fire capital fund requests. So we both have the chief from both Twin Valley and Honey Brook Fire Company. I don't know which one of you gentlemen would like to go first, but if you just want to step up to the podium. All right, so we have Honey Brook Fire Company. So if you'd like, I can review the request, or you can have at it, whatever you're more comfortable with.
I'll speak on it. That's
Okay.
fine. Gary Ream, the fire chief at Honey Brook Fire Company. As operations continue with the fire company, we see a steady increase just with volume of calls and everything additional to that. So with that said, there's a few items that we have in-house that have come to our attention that's going to need either replaced or just upgraded at some point. So with that being said, any help from the township we would greatly appreciate. Along that list of items, we're looking to replace our compressor system. That's in-house. That's a compressor that's used to fill our SCBA, which is the air cylinders you see firemen wear when they have to go into high smoke situations. The compressor we have now it's 20 plus years old. It's a 2-bank system. With its age and use, it's actually only operating one of the banks, so we can only fill one cylinder at a time. The new system we're looking at will operate with 3 banks at the same time, which will greatly increase our capacity to fill cylinders in a timely manner. It also comes with a 5-year warranty. Ryan Plank, our assistant chief, has been doing a lot of research on this, and he was actually able to secure us a $10,000 price reduction on the compressor we're looking at.
And they no longer have the air refilling trucks anymore. They used
So-
to be there.
Yeah, so to my knowledge, there's 2 left in the county.
Okay.
What that is, that's apparatus with a compressor on board. There's 2 left in the county. One's coming out of Downingtown and one out of Westchester. Even the one in Downingtown, the talks are they're going to be taking that out of service. So there's going to be one air truck left in the county. It's coming out of Goodwill of Westchester. So I mean,
So there's more than one working fire, that vehicle can only be at one location.
nah. There's a couple rescue trucks that carry air cylinders, just larger versions. They can fill 8, 10 cylinders maybe. But yeah, it's going to be rare to see an actual air truck with a compressor on the fire scene anymore. So we rely on what we have as far as cylinders with the spare cylinders. But then once we get back to the station after the call, we have that many cylinders to fill before we can even decide or think about going home.
How many air packs do you guys currently have?
Air packs, so 6, 12, 18. We probably have roughly 35 air packs. Yeah.
And how long does it take to fill one currently versus what they could fill it?
Safely, I mean, you're looking at probably anywhere from a minute and a half to 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a slow process. You don't want to fill too fast. It heats the cylinder. There's a whole science to it.
Need to be certified to do that?
Just in-house. In-house, we have a procedure where you go through training on the compressor, and then you'll get checked out by an officer, just showing that you know how to operate it, you've been trained, and safely.
And is that compressor, can that be used for any other purpose?
No, strictly self-contained breathing apparatus. Any more questions on the compressor? Lately?
What is that one, the 3 bang thing that you said, that means 3 tanks? Is
So that means yes, so that we can fill 3 cylinders at one time.
Okay.
So right now we're currently filling one at a time. So that'd be a big blessing. Another item is the structural fire turnout gear. NFPA, they require you to replace turnout gear every 10 years. We're very fortunate in Honey Brook with manpower. I can stand here and say we have just about, if not 1 or 2, over 50 sets of fire gear along our back wall, and which is active and currently in service. Historically, we use grant funding to purchase 5 sets each year just to keep that rotation going, so we don't find ourselves in a year where we got to purchase 10, 15 sets at one time. Speaking of the grants, grant funding has not changed. Just like everything else in the economy, the prices for things have. So looking at that going forward with the funding that the grant does offer, in the next year we'd have to go down to only 4 sets. It would only cover 4 sets. And then doing the math on how things keep skyrocketing, eventually we're only going to be able to get 2 or 3 sets a year on that state grant.
Does that 25 cover 5?
So that quote is for,
Weren't you turn out here for $5,000 a set?
It's roughly. It can range anywhere from like 45 to 55. Yeah.
so this is showing that it's 5 sets of equipment for a total of 25,000.
And then turnout gear is like good to many fires or good to many years?
Well, if you see a good fire and it's damaged, it gets sent out, gets inspected. If it's able to be repaired, it gets repaired. There are times where it gets damaged in a fire beyond repairable and it has to be placed out of service. But NFPA states that fire gear that's not structurally damaged is only good for 10 years, so a lifetime of 10 years, seeing that it's not damaged.
Do you have to pay for the repair, or is that included in like a warranty?
Now, the fire company has to pay for
Pay
that.
for that?
Yep.
Just out of curiosity, so after 5 years, or 10 years, what do you do with it? Is there some type of recycle plan they can do with that thing, or does that go on to help something somewhere else down the line?
Yeah, so after its 10-year life expectancy, we can use it for exterior firefighting. So like the juniors, 14 years old, you can't do much on the fire ground. Obviously, they're not going into fires. So we usually hang on to a couple sets for that. There are fire companies out there that use it for training only, not live fire. Companies less fortunate of us, in the past we have donated to them. And then the stuff that we just don't feel safe handing to anyone for that, we'll just dispose of it. I mean, we can't take that chance to donate it to someone that possibly could use it and hurt themselves, so. All right. The next thing, we're looking at a hose rack system. OSHA single man lift limit is 50 pounds. One roll of 5-inch LDH can weigh up to, if not a little more than 80 pounds. Definitely more than 80 pounds when it's wet, which typically if 5-inch supply line's down, it's getting wet. This system will alleviate the physical toll on our firefighters when we're rolling and racking hose, making it much safer. And reduce hose wear. So we were very fortunate earlier this year to receive a grant to replace all our fire hose, which was roughly $67,000. We're expecting that order to come in between the fall and winter months this year. So we find it very important to do what we can to make that hose last, to serve the community. In addition to that, and speaking of wanting to take care of our hose, we're looking at a hose washing system. At Honey Brook, we take great pride in maintaining and taking care of everything we own. That includes the hose. With the grant we just received that I spoke of, this washing system will thoroughly clean and wash our new hose, maintaining its appearance and ultimately extending its life of service. The reviews on this machine, it has great reviews. It removes a lot of the debris that just laying it on the apron of the firehouse, pressure washing it, scrubbing it with a brush. Like, you're not getting the deep carcinogens and debris out of this hose. So overall, it's a big safety thing.
If you roll, I don't know, but I'm just curious. If you roll, like, let's say you rolled up a dirty hose and it had carcinogens in it or something, does that like help wear it out or something?
Yes, absolutely. It does a more in-depth, thorough cleaning of it. Yep. Just like with the structural turnout gear, after a fire, we go back. We have a heavy-duty washing machine specifically for turnout gear. Does a real deep clean. Cancer is obviously the leading cause of death in the fire service, and it's become a big area of focus. So, yep. That's all we have on our list. More than happy to answer any more questions. If you think of any, I'll be here for the duration.
Thank you, Chief.
On behalf of the fire company, thank you.
Good luck following that.
Real simple.
So Pete's the fire chief of Twin Valley Fire Company. They're one of our fire companies that serve my Yeah, Pete.
So, my name is Tom Hornberger. Nickname is Pete, real name is Tom Hornberger. We've been fortunate enough to receive grants throughout the year through federal grants, but sometimes you can't get the same grants for the same equipment anymore, which is the point with our rescue equipment, our extrication equipment. We are to the point now where our power units, our hydraulic pumps, the parts are no longer available. So we're asking to replace 8 pumps if we can. And along with that, if you have any questions.
So how many pumps do you need? Is it 5 units?
8.
8. Okay.
We have 3 that's one size and 5 that's another size.
So the 20 is not for all.
So I had
I
spoken.
remember we talked about, we were gonna,
So I spoke to Pete. The total sale price for all 8 units is about $91,000. So, in speaking with the fire company and Pete, we asked if they would be able to stretch those purchases out over several years. Again, initially this was going to be a grant ask, but as mentioned before, grants that are applied for this year wouldn't be awarded until next year, and the money doesn't become available to year 3. And talking with Pete, these are for the rescue tools, so I think it's essential to make sure that they have the proper equipment at the right time. And again, grants are either hit or miss. Not all grants are awarded. So upon speaking with the fire company, I think they would be okay if we would give some additional funding over the next 4 years of $20,000 a year. And that
so
would-
you're, not to cut you off, you have 80 of these
Yes.
generator hydraulic.
Hydraulic pumps, yes.
And the 20 is to replace the 2 worst ones, or the 2 that get used?
Well, yeah,
for reliability reasons,
the 2 oldest ones,
2 oldest ones.
that would get replaced first.
Obviously, you're gonna try grants, et cetera, but if not, we're
looking at
funding it.
over the next couple of years as we replace the rest of them, or
Right.
partner up with it, if that's the way it goes, or whatever. But this is only replacing a couple of the units of the oldest units.
Yeah, the two that we have that are oldest, there's no longer parts available. The mechanic said if one of those pumps goes down, we'll be short a pump. And we carry rescue tools on every piece of apparatus we have.
And they're, if I remember correctly, you said these are pretty reliable, so
Yeah.
if it was approved, come January, February, you can get a discount on them, plus get them pretty quick.
Yeah, they have a program that there's a sale, goes on once a year, and we would wait till that time that we could take advantage of the sale to get at least two of the pumps.
And that was pretty substantial, wasn't that?
Yeah, it's a
For a couple
big
$1,000
saving.
a piece or something?
Yeah, it's a couple $1,000 savings. But we gotta wait to see when, the salesman doesn't even know when they're gonna do it, so. But so, right now, we're fine until one of the pumps, but we wanna get ready in case something does happen.
Got it, thank you.
And then with that, we'd like to replace our forestry unit. Well, it's not forestry, it's a side-by-side ATV unit with a new unit and trailer and a skid unit for the back. We cover quite the amount of forestry area. We're more specialized with forest fires and search and rescue in the wilderness, where Honey Brook's more specialized with water rescue. So we try not to duplicate special equipment. We're the one of, what, 3 around here? Yeah, something like that. 3 of the ATVs that are around here. And ours is just, it's wearing out. It's starting to become a mechanical nightmare.
How often do you get to use the ATV on fires, or how often?
It goes out on every brush fire.
Okay.
And so far this year, we've had 27 brush fires.
Wow.
We cover 46 square miles, so we're out and about pretty much. And that's just our area, then we get called in to assist.
So the 27, that would have been all the ones that it was on, or just in your,
That was all the ones it was on, whether it was mutual aid or our call.
okay.
And the side-by-side, the trailer, obviously, and that's also the skid unit that's the side-by-side pump rail?
Yes,
Skid unit goes in the back.
it's a combination unit. It's a tank, pump, and reel, plus has room for a stretcher for rescues.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I do, yeah, how do we get with your ladder?
Oh,
Bring it home yet?
no, it'll be home in 2 weeks. We were out and inspected our ladder. It had some technical problems that had to be taken care of, but it should be here in 2 to 3 weeks. But yeah,
Good luck, thank you.
I have to leave. I have my own meeting.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, Chief.
So the next item to talk about would be EMS funding. So upon speaking with Honey Brook EMS, they are considering some considerable changes next year that are still being worked through the logistics. So they're not really sure, they don't have any firm numbers that they want. We are going to be writing a LSA grant to replace 2 of their vehicles. We previously were awarded one for an ambulance. These are two more of their first responder trucks, so not an ambulance, but a little bit smaller. We'll be writing that grant here in the next week. So They didn't want to come with any in-stone ask. So again, my recommendation would just be to put a placeholder if the board is comfortable for $150,000. If the board is okay with that, that will just allow us to build out the budget in case those requests come to fruition. And again, whatever comes about from EMS, they would have obviously come back with us, discuss it with the township, and it would be brought before the Board of Supervisors. So just putting a placeholder in there will allow the administration to build out a proper budget and to see if it can work within the 2026 budget. So that's all I have for the EMS.
Just a quick question, on the two vehicles that they're wanting,
Yes,
what's the price of the vehicle?
it was about $97,000 per vehicle.
Outfitted up?
Outfitted, yes. So those would be applied for again through an LSA grant.
What's the maximum grant you can pay out?
$1 million per grant application, but you can't have multiple grant applications for the same ask. So we couldn't write a grant for the two vehicles and have another municipality also write for the same two vehicles.
But you
So
could have multiple grant applications for different.
asks, correct, yes. So we would lump those two vehicles in as one LSA grant. They wouldn't go in as two separate grants. Because we do plan on writing an LSA grant for the Honey Brook Fire Company. They're looking at what would you call that, a training modular unit?
Yeah, like an on-site training building, essentially. They're custom built using, they pretty much base them off of shipping containers, big steel shipping containers. It would give us the opportunity to have our own training grounds on our premises rather than always having to travel a half hour to South Coatesville or 40 minutes to Westchester to use their training sites. Really would open a lot of doors for our members to further their training in different areas.
So that's going to be the second grant ask, and then the third LSA grant is going to be to try to receive funds for the park upgrade that we just did. So we're planning on writing 3, potentially 4 grants this year. Any more questions on fire EMS? Okay. The next one would be recreation requests, and those are to 2025 fiscal year carry forward projects. One was for planting trees, and the second one were for the installation of a pollinator garden. Again, the board had approved this for the 2025 year budget. The Rec and Park had not had the opportunity to move forward, so they were asking to carry those over into the fiscal year of 2026.
Was the trees for?
It was not for the frontage. That's something that we're hoping to pay for out of the maintenance. Someone here asked that, I think potentially the company might donate some trees, and then just the township and the Rec and Park would figure out where to put them into the park, but they wouldn't be used for technically frontage to obscure any facilities, just to improve the overall tree canopy in the park. And then last, the library.
Hi, Stacy Papillon, I'm the treasurer on the board at the library. This is the first time we've done this, so I'm not really sure what to say other than we really appreciate the township helping us finish the main part of our construction. We did meet with Warren and the township accountant so that they can, that we can work together to make sure that we have a good budget. We've had a pretty good budget set up for years, and we appreciate the annual help from the township very much. So we do have I'm calling right now, a wish list of items that either didn't quite get finished with the money we had, or things that we need in the future, like our well is 50 years old. Our existing heating system, the heating system for the existing part of the building and air conditioners are very old, I think 20 or 30 years old. So those are some of the things we're looking at in the future. I apologize, Warren, I got handed back to me so we may want to try to do an LSA if it's not too late, so I need to talk to you. I'm sorry, just kind of, it was a little bit too much for one of the other board members, didn't know really what to do, so we may pick something from our wish list that I understand the process. You don't get it right away if you do get it, so I need to talk to you. So anyway, those are just some of the things. Warren has a copy of it, have really helped us out. We're going to try to put years next to those. The first one we wanted to do was lighting was not sufficient. We ran out of money. We actually were able to do that. We still had enough capital campaign funds, so that was great. Some of the main things I think for safety and such are, for example, we don't have, we did not rebuild the Amish horse shed yet, and winter's coming, so we're trying to shuffle our list to make sure we get, get everything. The most important items, I don't know if you want to hear some of the other things I did kind of pull it up. So I was no one sure what you're supposed to say tonight. The community room, although beautiful, very echoey, and people have a hard time hearing, so we're looking at some acoustic wall panels. We might actually have enough money to do that next. Like I said, a new well, window treatments. Some of the stuff is not super key yet, but I think some of the key items, like I said, are the horse shed. Our well doesn't meet current compliance, so we need to look at that, and hopefully our heating system will, hold on for a couple more years. So that will help us save money also, and, because I know funding is tight everywhere. Anyway, so those are some of the things that we're looking at, and like I said, we just do appreciate, we don't have anything specific to offer right now, so.
So just for the board's understanding, you're starting your budget process as well.
Yes, we are, and we are a little bit behind. We were talking to Warren and the accountant about meeting in September, but I don't know if any of you know, but the Chester County Library system was hacked and held for ransom. And the computer systems are not all up yet still. It's been out for like a couple weeks. So we're behind on figuring out that kind of stuff, setting up our budget, seeing how much money we actually have. What we do is we see how much we spent, like as anybody does, and see the little difficult part for us is because we haven't been operating in the new space for a full year. So last year we had to estimate costs like electricity, heat. We need to see how we did on our estimates, and then work that in as best we can. So yes, we're working on that soon, and I'll be in touch with Warren and the accountant for when I sit down as soon as the money systems are back up, because they don't have a lot of staff there as a lot of people don't, and as soon as it's up and they kind of catch up, and we'll set up something. So we have till, I think, the first week of December to get ours passed. So anyway, any questions? I was rambling a lot.
Okay, so again, I think I spoke to Patchy today, and I think the plan is to get them, be involved with their budget this year. Give them time to be in the new building for several months to about a year, and I think you'll have better operating cost numbers next year, or 2026. So I think that will assist the library and also the township once they've been in the facility operating for a little bit to reevaluate the funding that they need through all of their sources.
Then we're going to work the capital campaign items into our budget, whereas before we just kind of didn't really have a lot of big capital stuff, and dealt, the past before me dealt with it when it was an issue, and relied on our donations or grants. So we have that list. We're going to prioritize it and work that into our budget. So appreciate the help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that is all the capital requests that I have intended to bring in front of the board. Like I said, the next step is over the next several weeks, I'll reach out and work with each board member individually. You can get your feedback, comments, questions, and concerns, and then we will get a draft 2026 budget out for everyone's review, and then we will continue to move forward. At the latest, it will be in front of the board at the regular board meeting in November, so we can have it out for inspection and public comment. The budget does need to be passed by December 31st, so we will do that in our December regular board meeting. I'll be happily answering any board questions.
You're still gathering outside costs, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. So some costs are already known, some costs are mid-year. Again, we will have September's treasury report numbers, so budget to actual. That will be in the next board meeting next week. So that will give us 9 of 12 months of accurate budgetary process. Again, the more numbers we can get in with, the more months under the belt of the township will allow us to better project what budgetary costs will be next year. But yes, there are still some outside costs that we're getting. We are getting in our fee schedules from our contracts and professional services. I think the last one came in earlier this week, and they will be entered and put into the budget moving forward here.
Any other questions on anything? Any other questions?
You know,
With that, moving on to other business. Is there any other business to discuss?
I don't
I
have
don't have anything.
you know,
Okay. Well, the last item is adjournment. We have a motion.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone, for coming out.
Thank you. They weren't, that's a good time to meet with you.
Anytime you want, we have, so
Our last meeting,
I didn't know. Thanks. Yeah.